The road to Valmir is uneven this time of year. She knew that before she agreed to the journey. She also knew he would insist on accompanying her. That part had nothing to do with the road. Your Grace, I can travel alone, she had said 2 nights ago in the council chamber. You won't, he replied calmly. I have done so before. And you won't this time. He did not raise his voice. He did not argue. He simply ended the discussion with that measured certainty that made people stop pushing. Now, 3 hours into the journey, she sits across from him inside the carriage, the steady rhythm of hooves echoing beneath them. The interior is dimly lit by the small lantern fixed to the wall. Velvet-lined seats. Narrow space. The scent of leather and cold air. He sits opposite her, composed, broad shoulders relaxed, cloak draped neatly. Too composed. You're watching me, she says without looking up from the ledger in her hands. Yes. Why? Because you're pretending you're not angry. She finally looks up. I'm not angry. You are. You insisted on escorting me. Yes. You dismissed my objection. Yes. And you expect me not to be irritated? I expect you to understand why. Her jaw tightens slightly. Because you don't trust the roads. Because I don't trust the men who know you'll be on them. That lands differently. She sets the ledger aside. There are guards. Yes. Plenty. Yes. And yet you needed to sit across from me for 6 hours. Yes. The simplicity of his answers is infuriating. And why? She asks evenly. Did you truly insist? His gaze does not waver. Because I don't like imagining you in a carriage alone. Her breath shifts slightly at that. That's not strategic. No. Then what is it? Honest. The carriage shifts over a minor rut in the road. Not dramatic. Just enough to remind them the journey is real. She folds her hands in her lap. You've been different, she says carefully. Yes. Since the council banquet. Yes. He does not pretend not to understand what she means. You stepped between me and Lord Heron, she says. Yes. You didn't need to. Yes, I did. You're very sure of that. I am. She studies him. You don't get to decide who stands close to me. No. Then why act like you do? His voice lowers slightly. Because he assumed he could. And I did not like that assumption. The carriage continues forward. Hooves steady. Wheels turning. The space between them feels smaller than it should. You don't own that right, she says. I know. Then what are you claiming? He exhales slowly. Nothing. Then what was that? He leans back slightly against the seat. It was clarity. She almost laughs. That again. Yes. You enjoy that word. I enjoy precision. And precision means standing between me and another man. It means removing misunderstandings. She studies him for a long moment. You've never been territorial before. I'm not territorial. You are. No. Then what are you? He looks at her steadily. Done pretending. Her pulse flickers faintly. Pretending what? That it doesn't matter when someone else stands too close. Silence falls between them. Not comfortable. Not hostile. Charged. The carriage suddenly hits a deeper rut in the road. This time, the jolt is sharp. The lantern swings violently. She gasps as her body lurches forward. And before she can brace, his hands are on her. Firm. Instant. One arm wraps around her back. The other catches her at the waist. She collides directly against his chest. The world tilts for half a second, then steadies. But he doesn't release her. Not immediately. The carriage continues moving, wheels settling again into rhythm. Her palms are flat against his chest. His arm is strong around her back. Her thigh rests partially against his knee from the sudden shift. For a breath. Neither of them moves. You're all right, he says quietly. Yes. But she doesn't push away. And he doesn't loosen his hold. The space is subtly very small. Much smaller than when they sat opposite each other. His hand at her waist tightens slightly. Not possessive, not inappropriate, but steadying. You see, he murmurs. See what? The roads aren't smooth. Her breath is uneven. That was hardly a catastrophe. No, he agrees. But you would have hit the opposite seat. And I don't like that thought. The honesty is quiet, unforced. She becomes aware of the warmth of him through layers of fabric. The strength in the arm still supporting her. The fact that he could let go. But hasn't. You can release me, she says softly. Yes. He does not. Her pulse quickens. You're not. No. Her fingers curl slightly against his tunic without thinking. You're very bold suddenly. No. Then what is this? His voice lowers. I'm making sure you're steady. I'm steady. Yes. Then why are you still holding me? He meets her gaze. Because you haven't moved. That is true. She hasn't. The carriage sways gently again. Less violently this time. But enough that instinct makes her shift closer rather than risk another stumble. His arm adjusts automatically, tightening just enough to keep her secure. Their faces are closer now. Not inches, but close enough to feel breath. You planned this journey, she says quietly. Yes. You planned to insist. Yes. You didn't plan the bump. No. But you're not upset it happened. His mouth curves faintly. No. The air between them shifts. Not yet reckless. Not yet overt. But undeniably altered. You're very sure I won't object, she murmurs. No. You're not. No. His gaze holds hers. If you want to move, he says softly, I'll let you. The offer is real. She knows it is. That is what makes the decision heavier. The carriage sways again, gently this time. And instead of stepping back, she steadies herself against him, choosing balance, choosing closeness. His hand at her waist presses slightly more firmly. Not claiming. Grounding. The lantern light flickers across his face. You're not pushing me away, he says quietly. No. And you're not angry anymore. No. He exhales slowly. Good. Her breath trembles just slightly. You're dangerous, she whispers. Only if you want me to be. The carriage continues forward. But the journey is already changed. And this time, neither of them pretends otherwise. The carriage doesn't slow. But something inside it has. She is still against him. Not thrown now. Not off balance. Simply there. His arm remains around her waist, steady, firm, not moving. The other rests along her back, palm flat between her shoulder blades, as if she might still tip forward at any moment. You can move, he says quietly. Yes. She doesn't. The lantern swings gently overhead, casting moving shadows along the velvet-lined walls. The wheels settle into a steadier rhythm now, though the road remains uneven. Her palms are still pressed against his chest. She becomes aware of how solid he feels beneath her hands, the strength in his shoulders, the warmth beneath wool and cloak. You're not releasing me, she murmurs. No. Why? Because the road hasn't improved. It has. Not enough. Her lips almost curve. You're very committed to this explanation. Yes. And if the road were perfectly smooth, his gaze holds hers. I would still prefer you here. The honesty lands without warning. She feels it. A shift in the air. A shift in him. You don't hide it anymore, she says quietly. No. You used to. Yes. Why stop? His hand adjusts slightly at her waist, not pulling her closer, not pushing her away, just settling more firmly. Because pretending required distance, he says. And now, I don't want distance. The carriage jolts again, smaller than before, but enough to make her instinctively lean into him rather than risk the opposite seat. His arm tightens in response. There is no space between them now. None at all. Her knee rests against his thigh. Her breath brushes his collar. You're very certain I won't retreat, she murmurs. No, you're not. No. His voice lowers. But I'm certain you would have by now. The truth of that quiets her. He is not trapping her. He is allowing. Waiting. She shifts slightly. Not to move away, but to settle more comfortably against him. One of her hands slides from his chest to grip the edge of his cloak near his shoulder. He notices instantly. You're steady now, he says. Yes. And yet you're still here. Yes. His thumb presses lightly into the curve of her waist. Grounding, not possessive. The carriage slows. Gradually, the rhythm of hooves shifts from steady pace to measured stop. She looks toward the small window. Why are we stopping? He doesn't look away from her. Because I ordered them to. Her pulse jumps. You what? The road narrows ahead. I didn't want speed through the pass. You didn't mention that. No. Why? His gaze doesn't falter. Because I suspected you wouldn't sit across from me much longer. Her breath catches slightly. That's absurd. Yes. And yet here you are. The carriage comes to a full stop. The sudden stillness feels louder than the movement did. Outside, faint murmurs of guards adjusting position. Inside, silence. Thick. Close. You're very bold, she whispers. No. Then what is this? He studies her carefully. Honesty. You keep saying that. Because it's true. His hand shifts slowly from her waist to the small of her back. Still entirely appropriate. Still controlled. but firmer now. You're not moving back to your seat, he says quietly. No. You could. Yes. You're not. No. Her heart beats faster now, not from imbalance, not from the road, but from the weight of the choice. The carriage is still. There is no excuse anymore. No motion to blame. No instability to justify closeness. She is here because she has chosen to remain here. His gaze drops briefly to her mouth, then returns to her eyes. You're very quiet, he murmurs. I'm thinking about whether you're reckless. I am, and whether I care. His hand tightens slightly at her back, and she studies his expression. There is no arrogance there, no entitlement, just certainty. Not as much as I should, she admits softly. The words shift something in him. His breath deepens. You don't like that I stepped between you and Heron, he says. I didn't like that you assumed you had the right. I didn't assume, he replies quietly. You acted. Yes. Why? His voice lowers. Because I didn't want him to think proximity to you was negotiable. Her pulse flares. That sounds dangerously like a claim. It isn't. Then what is it? It's clarity. She exhales slowly. You really do love that word. Yes. And what does clarity look like in a stopped carriage? His hand at her back slides upward slightly, stopping between her shoulder blades. Like this, he says. She swallows. You're not subtle. No. And you're not backing away. No. The stillness stretches between them. No movement of wheels. No sway. Only the faint sound of wind outside the carriage walls. If I move now, she says quietly, this ends. Yes. And if I don't, his eyes hold her steadily. Then it changes. The weight of that is undeniable. This is not accidental. Not a jolt. Not imbalance. This is decision. She shifts slightly, not away, but closer. Her knee presses more firmly against his thigh. Her hand tightens at his cloak. You're very sure I won't object, she murmurs. No. You're not. No. His voice drops. But if you were going to, you would have already. Her breath trembles. He's right. She would have. Instead, she leans in. Barely. Just enough that their foreheads almost touch. His breath warms her cheek. You're very certain of yourself, she whispers. No. Then what are you certain of? He doesn't hesitate. You. The honesty unravels her more than pressure ever could. His hand slides slowly from her back to her waist again, steady, grounding. You're not angry anymore, he says. No. You're not irritated. No. You're not moving. No. The repetition tightens the air between them. His gaze drops to her lips again. This time he doesn't look away. You're very close, she whispers. Yes. And you haven't asked. I don't need to. Her pulse stutters. You're assuming. I am. And if you're wrong, I'll accept it. The calm confidence steadies her more than force ever could. The carriage remains still, the world outside distant. You're dangerous, she murmurs. Only if you want me to be. Her hand slides slowly upward along his shoulder. Testing. Not pushing. Just tracing. His breath shifts. You're not as composed as you pretend, she says softly. No. His hand tightens slightly at her waist. Neither are you. She exhales. The space between their mouths narrows. A breath. Half a breath. And then, she doesn't move away. The carriage is still. No sway. No motion. No excuse. Her forehead hovers just a breath away from his. You're very certain, she whispers. No, he replies quietly. I'm waiting. For what? For you to decide. The words settle between them. Heavy. Final. There is no bump this time. No instability. No sudden jolt to force closeness. If she remains here now, it is because she wants to. His hand at her waist is steady, not tightening, not pulling her in. Waiting. She feels the weight of it. The steadiness in him. The absence of force. You're not going to move first, she says softly. No. Why? Because I caught you, he replies evenly. I didn't claim you. The distinction matters. It changes everything. Her fingers, still curled at his cloak, tighten slightly. The silence stretches long enough to make retreat possible. And then, she closes the distance. Not abruptly, not recklessly, just enough. Her mouth brushes his. A deliberate touch. Testing. He inhales sharply, but he does not seize the moment. He waits. And when she presses closer, just slightly, that is when he responds. The kiss is not sudden. It is slow, intentional. He leans into her with controlled warmth, his hand at her waist tightening just enough to anchor her there. Her breath trembles against his mouth. His other hand rises to her jaw, thumb brushing along the curve of her cheek, steady, grounding. The kiss deepens gradually. Not frantic, not desperate, just undeniable. Her body shifts closer, thigh pressing against his more firmly now. She is no longer balanced against him. She is leaning into him, choosing the contact. His mouth moves with hers, confident but not overwhelming. When he pulls back, it's only an inch. "You started that," he murmurs. "Yes." "You're not angry anymore." "No." "You're not resisting." "No." His gaze searches hers carefully. "You're certain?" "Yes." The word is quiet but unwavering. He kisses her again, deeper this time, less cautious. Still controlled, still measured, but no longer restrained by doubt. Her hand slides from his cloak into his hair, fingers tightening lightly at the back of his head. The movement surprises both of them. His breath shifts. "You're very bold," he murmurs against her lips. "You're very certain," she replies. His hand slides slightly higher along her back, not indecent, not wandering, just firm enough to draw her closer, eliminating the final inch of space between them. The carriage remains still. Outside, faint voices of guards adjusting position. Inside, heat, breath, the quiet sound of fabric shifting. When he lifts her slightly, just enough that her weight settles more securely into him, she gasps softly. Not startled, just aware. "You're reckless," she whispers. "Yes." "And impossible." "Yes." "And you plan to stop." "Yes." Her lips curve faintly. "I thought so." He sets her back down slowly, not releasing her, just grounding her again. "You could still move back to your seat," he says. She doesn't. Instead, her hand slides down to his chest, flattening there. "You don't want me to," she murmurs. "No, neither do I." The words hang between them. Clear, undeniable. He leans in once more, slower now. The kiss softens, deepens, less about proving something, more about acknowledging it. When they part again, his forehead rests against hers. "We arrive in 10 minutes, he says quietly. The reminder feels almost absurd. The world still exists. The journey still continues. "Yes," she replies. "And when we do, they'll see." "Yes." Her pulse flutters. "You're not afraid of that?" "No." "They'll talk." "They already do." He exhales slowly. "And this changes things." "Yes." "Are you certain?" She studies him, really studies him. The man who insisted on escorting her, who stepped between her and another, who caught her without hesitation, who waited for her to choose. "Yes," she says firmly. He nods once. The carriage jolts back into motion. Not violently, just enough to remind them the journey isn't finished. This time, she doesn't move away when it sways. She remains seated beside him, close, their knees brushing, his hand resting at her waist. Open, unhidden. The lantern flickers softly as the carriage rolls forward. 10 minutes later, the wheels slow again, this time for arrival. Valmir's gates come into view through the small window. The carriage stops. He releases her slowly, not withdrawing completely, just enough. "You're steady," he says. "Yes." "You're sure?" "Yes." The door opens. Cool air rushes in. Guards stand at attention outside. He steps out first, then turns and offers his hand. She takes it, not as formality, as alignment. When she descends from the carriage, she does not step away from him. She remains at his side, close enough that their shoulders brush. The courtyard is not empty. Servants, guards, 2 visiting lords. They see, they notice. His hand rests lightly at her lower back as they walk forward. Not possessive, not hidden, deliberate. One of the visiting lords raises an eyebrow. The Duke does not react. She does not flinch. They walk forward together, side by side, and when someone dares to stand a fraction too close, the Duke doesn't step between them this time. He doesn't need to, because she doesn't step away from him either. The message is clear. Later that evening, on the balcony overlooking Valmir's courtyard, she stands beside him. The sky is deep blue, the air cool. "You don't regret it," he says quietly. "No. You'd do it again." "Yes." He turns slightly toward her. "And if the carriage hits another bump?" She looks up at him. "Then catch me." His mouth curves faintly. "And if I don't let go?" She steps closer. "You don't have to." His hand slides to her waist again, firm, warm, grounding. Not trapping, choosing. The journey began with a jolt, a bump in the road, an accident of balance. But this This was not accidental. He caught her. She stayed. And when the carriage stopped, she kissed him first. And that made all the difference.